On, we can get the fat, so we'll render it the fat for the masa. So and then I grab these little like this, but you gotta be careful because you gotta have a sharp knife, because you see, not too big, so they can fry up and get all the fat out. See, and this is what you want, these kind of pieces. Okay, I'll show you how when I'm frying it up, what I do. Just get a good sized pan, put a little bit of water, put these in there, and the water will cook down, and they'll start getting the fat out on their own. That's the first thing I do for the tamale meat. That's fat off the meat. And I'm chopping it up real small so I can render the fat, because I'm going to use it for the tamale masa. And it's going to, when those steam out, the fat comes out when you steam the tamales. There's about half a cup of water here, about half of this cup, so it's a half a cup, or a cup of water maybe, I guess, the measured cup. And then I put the fat in there, and I'm going to let it boil. Cook. And when it's going to cook all the fat out, it'll start frying itself in its own fat. Then I'm going to take all those chicharrones out. And then in that fat that's there, I'm going to put the meat that I'm going to chop up. Okay? Go. As soon as it boils, I'm going to turn it down, because it's on 7 right now, 7.5, so it could boil. And I'm going to put it down to 4, because I don't want it too high, I don't want it to burn, or maybe 5. Now I'm chopping the meat so that when that fat is rendered, I'm going to take the chicharrones out. And I'm going to use that same fat to fry this meat up a little bit. I'm going to take that fat out right now. About chunks about this big, because when they cook, they get shredded up themselves, but I don't like to shred the meat. It'll shred itself, but it'll have a good flavor, because I don't like shredded meat. I like chunky meat, and when you open the tamale, and you get a chunk of meat, and it just falls apart with nice green chili sauce. The chilies that were hard. See, these aren't very soft to look at. They have to make sure that we're dunking the water. They're soaking, so I'm going to put this way so I can push them down into the water. But they're getting soft, look, they're getting rehydrated. But I'm going to leave it there because I don't like to boil them. And you always wash your dishes with bleach. This is bleach water and soap. Every time you wash dishes, use bleach water. I got this little contraption. It's like a little screen, because these things pop. You can see they're getting brown, but it's fat, so they pop. They can pop in your face. So this is how I stir it. See, I'm stirring it right here behind. With these pots, you always use plastic or wood utensils. And it pops. Look, this little piece popped out. It can burn you. You just stir it. See, and then you keep it covered, so because you don't want to put a lid on it. Because you don't want to steam. You just don't want the fat to pop on you. And I got this. Look, I'm holding on to this like this, because you don't want it to pop in your face. And I'm putting it here because I'm going to put the meat to cook in here. Also, I have too much meat to fit in one pan. I'm taking all the fat out of here.
So you leave this on the floor, huh?
You know. Oh, I might. I can pour those in there. Oh, see all that fat? See all that fat? I'm going to put a little bit in the other pan for the meat to cook and fry it.
Oh, there they are.
There's the chicharrones. Look how nice they are. Give me that strainer, Tia. The one in your hand? We'll put them in here, that way to keep, still have a little bit of fat they can strain. So this thing's hot. I put a little tiny bit of salt before I took them out of the oil, before I took the oil off. Okay. And there you have your chicharrones. Just letting the rest of the fat strain. They're very hot, but they're very good. Look at what they have meat. That's a little bit of meat. It's too hot to eat right now. It's too much for one pot because I don't have a big pot. So I'm gonna go half in here, half there. That bone is gonna go first. One pot, and then the meat. Look, show them how much I got fat in there from the chicharrones that I rendered. I put a little bit in this one, and there's some in there. Okay, that's it. I'll put that meat in there, and you can see it in a minute. This bone goes on the bottom. This is comino. This is whole comino, cumin. The seeds. This is my mama's grinder. Molcajete called in Spanish. Look at her rock. And this is how you grind spices on this. That's why it's. See how they're whole? Right here when you grind them, look, it looks like comino powder. That's what you want. And then I put a little bit of water, little tiny bit of water, get it out of there, and pour it into my chili, and my meat. Oh, the smell of fresh ground comino is so delicious. Okay, the comino's all ground, the cumin. Put a little bit of water in there, mix it all up, and I'll put some in both pots. I want all this good stuff to get out of the little holes. Okay. And this is the cumin. I'm going to pour in most of it in here because it's got more meat than that one. And then this one, I'm not sure how much it was, like maybe half of that, not even. A quarter of this. And I'm going to add some salt. I'm not sure how much the measure is, but look. My palm full. It may not be enough, but it's enough to start. It's a little bit less because it's a little bit less meat. And then we'll check it out later. And I need to put a garlic in here. So they cook out. On them. So they can cook in their own juices. And later on, come mix it. And let's use chili pods that are rehydrated. You mix it with chili pods. You put them in the blender because I'm going to grind them up. As much as I can, really ground. So this is what I use to make the chili sauce. This is New Mexico chili pods, and this is chile ancho. Yeah. I don't know what you call it in English, but it's a fruit city. Ancho chili. I've heard them say ancho chili, so maybe it's the same thing. And then put this on here. Close it. And I'm gonna grind. What's this? 32 at 9:15. What time was it that we put it on channel 4?
9:20.
At 9:20 we put it on number 4. Look at it, it's still frying itself in its juices. It's a little bit lower, but it's going to cook really tender. Just stir it a little bit so it won't stick at the bottom. Make sure it won't, because these are non-stick pans. I always use a wooden paddle or plastic for these kinds of pans. See how the bone up top now? Okay, still want all this meat is going to come off of the bone. Okay? But the bone gives it the flavor. So you got to take the bone out, of course, but take all the meat off of it. Look. It's frying in its own juices. Yum, yum. Add about this much of the water, the chili, in here, so that it could blend it a little bit better. Okay, I blended it. It looks like it's nice and blended, but it still has like pieces of the skin in there. And I don't like skin, the chili skin in my chili, so what I'm going to do is strain it. And I'm going to use a little bit of the liquid to make it a little bit thinner. To strain it. I don't want to stick my fingers in there because the blades are really sharp. Okay, I'm gonna strain it because I don't like the skin, the chili skin on there. Okay. No, leave it alone. You just go like this. And be careful because when you hit it, it kind of crawls up to the side. So you gotta be careful because you tip it or you're not paying attention. You'll spill the chili skin back in there. That's not what you want. So you're straining it. Some people stir it with a spoon. Let's try stirring it with a spatula. Yeah, because it's a little bit thick. Don't let it spill over. If you spill over, it defeats your purpose. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do with the whole this process with all this chili. So, see you in the next step. See how I was stirring it? See how, look, you see all those are just seeds and skin. I'm going to get a little bit more of the chili water just to rinse off all the chili off the skins and the seeds. We don't want seeds in there either. And then this right here is going to go into a trash bag. So I can keep going, processing the whole thing until I'm done with all that chili. Yeah, because I don't like this stuff in the tamales for nothing. Move, no skins. Okay, next step next.